So I got a Corvette. Yeah. The first real thing that has gone wrong with the car that has caused it to I didn't have a breakdown, just so you guys know. I didn't have a breakdown, but I did have the air conditioning clutch go bad the other day. And I assumed the worst. The compressor's not locked up. It's everything tests fine. Everything's fine there. But when I tested the coil, I was like, "Ooh, the coil's, it's not holding voltage. It's not doing what it should, right?" So I assumed that, well, it threw low voltage or something. Something happened, and the voltage was wrong with the coil. And what ended up happening was the clutch decided to cook itself to death. Well, let me just kind of show you guys. This here is the clutch. All right. Now you'll notice I've got the bolt back in it with the shim. I do that whenever I take something apart. I always put the bolt back in it, like the clips here. I made sure to put the screws back in there. So anyway, let's look at this here real quick. This here is the clutch, and oh my, look at this. You're not saving this. One reason why, well, basically, let me go over the function of this, right? The coil is a big magnet, and when the coil is on, it attracts this to the flywheel, which is the pulley assembly there, and it allows this to spin, whereas the pulley just freewheels. The pulley sits there and freewheels, and it does its thing. It doesn't bother anybody, And anyway, the only thing it does is allows the belt to interfere with the compressor drive shaft mechanically. So what happened was this thing cooked itself apart, and I've had worse. I had a Crown Vic with this exact same thing happened, and it cooked all of this out before I was able to figure out what was going on. But anyway, the compressor on the Crown Vic actually seized up. I mean, it was gone. I mean, it seized up. This here, the compressor did not seize up, and I'll tell you what, the series of events that most likely happened. Anyway, so this guy right here cooked itself apart, and I had pieces of this black rubber everywhere. And when they make these, this is rubber, and they vulcanize just like they do like an engine mount or what have you. Same principle here. So when the magnet, which is your coil, engages with this, sends electrical current through, and well, it doesn't send electrical current. When the electrical current goes through the coil, it makes a magnet. And what happens is this rubber here allows this mechanism to flex and pull toward the pulley. And that's where you have this. This is called a clutch. Well, this centerpiece doesn't move, just this outer ring. So as you can see, she got a little bit hot. So I assumed it was the coil because when I, did my voltage test, it came back to the coil. Well, look at the coil. Well, well, that's probably why it's bad. It got a little warm, and everything decided it was going to go out to lunch. And the pulley itself was actually rubbing on this. So now, when I got this car, I checked everything. The only thing it didn't check, and this is hindsight's 2020. If I had checked it, I probably would have, discovered it. But it's the last thing I expected. I didn't hear any noise. But what ended up happening is those are the needle bearings inside the the pulley here. And had I been paying a little bit more attention when I got the car's pretty loud. You guys know this. But anyway, had I been paying a little bit more attention and actually, took the belt off and grabbed this and wiggled it, I'd have known right away. You can see on the inside there where the shiny metal there going all the way around the pulley, where this actually decided that it was going to interfere with the coil, and then it shorted out on the coil, and then obviously the coil, you know, once I got the AC system recharged, it was all downhill from there. So basically, yeah, so bad bearing is what initiated this catastrophic failure. So it's something that you guys do you do want to look for, and you do want to kind of pay attention to. All right, the part should be here a couple days. I got a show I want to take the car to. I really, if nothing else, I want to make sure at least I got the car put back together so I can drive it. And I mean, if nothing, I mean, I really am not concerned about AC per se. I mean, realistically, I could just put a bearing back in this and throw it back together and, you know, live with it that way. But I want everything in this car to work, and I want it all to work properly. The compressor itself is several $100s, so if you do have to go down that road, then you're going to have a little bit of a cost here. Rock Auto had the compressor clutch, you know, basically everything you're going to need to replace this whole thing for, was it 80 bucks, 60, 80 bucks, I don't remember quite. I ordered a bunch of parts for other vehicles at the same time, but anyway, it had this whole kit for 80 bucks, and yeah, so I'm going to throw it all back together and hope that the seal on the inside isn't degraded, isn't deteriorated, because if it is, then I'll have an issue later on where the compressor's actually bleeding fluid, and I'll know, you know, when it starts to leak. But you know, if it comes to that point, then a rebuild kit, you know, I know how to rebuild these. I've actually rebuilt these, you know, in the past, not these specific models, but I know how to work on them, and you know how to take care of them. So I'm just gonna cross my fingers that I can put all this back together, and that front shaft seal is okay. And these things are really easy to rebuild. Actually, it's not really, you know, something that's too traumatic. But anyway, if you guys do have a situation where the clutch goes bad, what you'll end up with is, you know, pieces of rubber all over the place. It'll fall onto the hood. I mean, there's a line right there where it cooked into the paint on the hood. This all happened within a matter of seconds. All right. And I mean, I'm pretty annoyed by it, because it's you know, of all places, I was pulling into a Walmart parking lot, and there it was. And anyway, that's all I got for this. So I got a Corvette. Tell me about your car experiences, car troubles in the comment section below. And if you guys like the videos, feel free to leave them in the comment section that you appreciate them, you like them, and share them with your car buddies. Alright, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good day.